All right, what's up, Peace Family, Soul Conscious TV? We back. This is probably gonna be the most important story I never told. All right, so this is the story of Ale. Now, start with the origins of Ale. All right, so they say Ale is a Canaanite god, right? Ancient Canaanite god. But from what I'm understanding, this was an actual man. All right, so let me break the story down. All right, so Ale got an origin story. So Ale was, I'm saying this was an actual human being. This wasn't a guy. This was a dude who he was very smart, intelligent. He was a little guy, and he came up with an invention. It's right there in his hand, and it's on his head, right? Because before Ale, right, and this is probably 3700 BCE, right? This is ancient times. Before Ale, and Ale knew this too. Mother Nature was the ruler, right? So El accidentally really became the first king. He's the king of all kings. I mean, he's the king of kings. And he became this really, I don't even think he meant to do it. It just what happened, right? Because he made this invention, right? It was technology. Uh, this technology that El came up with, being the first one to do it, right? Well, let me tell you. So the story starts at El. He's 11 years old, and he's an entertainer, right? He's a celebrity, and he entertains with that stick that he got right there. So he can do tricks with the sticks, flip it around, throw it up in the air. You know what I'm saying? And he influenced a lot of other people to start learning. You know what I'm saying? Kids was picking. He like Michael Jordan. He's the stick twirl. So other people start doing it. Um, L got a little jealous. You know, so he wanted to make his a little bit bigger and better. So he got some basically got some ingredients together, became like a scientist, and figured out how to put. Well, we all had at this time, right back at 3700 BCE, everybody kind of had the idea of the moon was magnetic, the sun was electric, and there was a magnetic electric field over the earth, and that we as human beings, we got a magnetic electric field around us. So with L basically inventing electricity and being able to harness the power of electricity and control it, which electricity, if you look at lightning, it's so chaotic the way you never know. So he became like a guy. He became like a god because he had the power of electricity in his hand, right? So these other dudes who was stick twirlers like L, they wanted the secret too. Like, man, how you do that? It was so cool. Like, it was the coolest invention. Let me show y'all what it looked like. It looked like this. You probably seen it before. That's what it looked like. Right? That's the stick. Okay. So yeah, it was electric. And he'd go down by the river and he'd put it by water and the water molecules would start spreading. He was like, man, this is a cool stick. So the people wanted to know how he did it. And so he remembered how they jacked his style the first time. So he didn't want to tell him. And this was the world's first secret. But there's a thing called karma in this world. So and L gonna find out about that. So L keeps the secret of electricity, right? How to harness the power of electricity. All right. So to the point where people ain't really feeling him no more. And he's created this electromagnetic field basically around himself that he got to wear this helmet now, which people didn't wear hats back then because You wanted the sun to beam down on the crown of your head, right? People didn't wear hats. He had to put a hat on, and he had his stick, and not the radiation, but the field, the magnetic field, he ended up having to move away, right? He had to go really on the top of a hill. I mean, right? He accidentally became a king, the first king, because of this invention, his technology. He had to isolate himself and go on top of a hill. So he wanted to really, he felt envy. He couldn't be really part of the group no more. So he wanted to build a bigger one, right? He was going to build this big electric tower, two of them. He was going to call it L even. He got L in his hand. This was L electricity, the electricity stick. That was L in his hand. That's L. This is L. Electricity, right? It was a stick of L, of a stick of electricity, which later because they start calling it a sickle, right? That's Saturn, that's L, right? He has the knowledge of light, how to harness light, right? And this is, I'm gonna show you how the timeline of civilizations, once they get the knowledge of L, that's when you become a civilization, even America. All right, y'all stay with me. Okay, so yeah, there go L with the sickle, the stick of L, this light stick. So now he wanted to turn them, and he wanted to make a bigger one. He already moved on top of this hill. Let me show you the hill, what it would look like. All right, so this is ancient Canaan. So he would have to go on top of the hill, right? Now he has his helmet. His helmet is really to protect his brain and his neurons in his brain. That's why he really got the helmet on. But later when stories get passed down, it's like, oh, it's the king on top of the hill with the scepter, right? But he's just the first one, and then he kept the knowledge to himself, which it was no secrets, man. Think about how hard it is for you to keep a secret today. Even back then, it was, it was unheard of. So he was bastardized, right? Sent to banished to live on top of the hill. See with his helmet on and electricity all around him, right? But this was a regular dude. He had the power of the serpent. The serpent is the lightning. And the serpent hisses. I'm gonna play an audio of what it sounded like in that. Because these Bible verses, they're gonna start making sense here in a second, right? Because let there be light. This is the story of El. That's why God be jealous and stuff in the Bible, because it's a story. He's a man. It was a man, but he just came up with an invention. He had the juice, the electricity, the juice. This is where the Jews, they gonna come into play too. All right, stay with me. So that serpent was hissing, and they put electromagnetic field, but we really got a magnetic. We more magnetic from the heart, spinning around, pumping the blood, pumping the iron, creating a magnetic field around us. It should be, I don't know how to say it, magno electricity. It should be ME for me, instead of they flipped it around. See, that's where in the Bible it says, let us go make men in our image. And then they go and say they make man first, and then they bring women from him. It's symbolizing them reverse engineering and putting the power of the sun on a stick. And they still do it to this day. They put the power of the sun on the stick, and that changed the game. That changed the game. That started, instead of Mother Nature ruling, man could start ruling, because he had harnessed. He gained the knowledge of electricity and became like God. And then they tell it through these mythos, right? They tell it through these mythos. So yeah. Now that electromagnetic field, when he built these, he wanted to build L even. L even looked like this, y'all. This is what L even looked like. he built two towers on top of a like a mountain or a hill or whatever, and it was generating magnetic electricity, right? So this is what it was sounding like. So it sounded like that, right? That's the serpent hiss. That's the serpent hiss. Now look, they say, see, it was messing with the people. Well, it was messing with the men, and I'm gonna show y'all why. It was messing with the men's magnetic electric field. It was messing with the men's magnetic electric field, and it was messing with the Earth's natural, you know what I'm saying, magnetic electric field. Because this is your aura too. Your chakras are connected to your auras, your seven orishas, right? They're telling you the same thing. So now with that serpent hissing, it's created by man. And like I told you, men create only in fours. The 44 hertz. It's the synthetic frequency, right? They built the grids, and then once they get that power grid up, they get that electric grid up. That's when that's when you could become a nation. Men builds in fours. So yeah, this is called the devil's frequency. Now with L on top of that bridge with these two towers, these two huge magnetic towers, right? Creating its own electromagnetic energy, is hissing at these folks down there, and they starting for the first time to know what jealousy is, and it's really hitting the men. It's really, because I'm gonna show y'all why it wasn't really affecting the women like that, right? These radio waves is going on. This was the first media too. L created the first media too. Was between them two towers, he knew that he could say stuff, and the very next day, the whole town would be talking about it, and he kept that a secret too. All right, so yeah, he was doing this through radio waves, right? And it was hissing, and think about hearing that humming all the time. It's messing with these men uh magnetic field, right? Why I wasn't messing with the woman? Now they say in the Bible, Eve ate the apple. That's how men feel. But the woman, why I really didn't bother her too much, and she kept the secrets of Mother Nature and the green thumb, right? Because this is all leading to the first murder, right? Starting from here. It's all leading up to the first murder. Okay, so yeah, the woman, it didn't affect her too much because it's the female. Fee is for iron. She got more iron than the woman got more iron than we do, right? Because her moon stray out. I just say it like that, right? So yeah. So anybody who would come to see L will have to wear a little hat to protect your neurons, right? You put the cube on for magnetism, put the hat on for electricity when you go see L, right? Cube of Saturn, Saturn, L, electricity, having the knowledge of electricity. The Jews, the one with the juice, the ones with the juice. Shout out to Tupac, all right? They put the juice on the stick and changed the game. Also, you see the man with the fish head? This was for mind reasoning. This is for magicians. They knew that they could take magnets and move stuff across the room. Could easily trick people, fool people, right? Putting the electricity on the on the wood, the staff. That was the magic wand, right? I know you can't really see this picture right here, but this is the dude with the fish head. The fish head is really a dolphin head because the dolphin is the most. Its brain is the most capable at 20%. So it's so good that they got echolocation. They can speak without speaking. So yeah, these people know this, man. So it didn't affect the woman that much. I'm trying to get to the Adam Eve story. Why it's in reverse? It's told in reverse. All right. Even Adam's name should be reversed for Mata. Right. But they reverse it to Adam and bringing life through the man. Right. So they said Eve ate the apple, which would be, even if you think about it nowadays, they tell us fruit is good for you. Right. So it wasn't the woman eating the fruit. That wasn't the bad thing. It was the man eating the animals. But why did men eat the animals? He got hissed at by the snake. What was the snake? It was the first murder. Man lost his compassion, right? We ain't ready for that story just yet. Man lost his compassion and bit the animal. That was the forbidden fruit. Man broke the golden rule. It wasn't the woman eating the fruit, right? But we see now corporations to this day, right? That's why they don't start telling you the story until now here go the timeline. Now this is what I'm talking about. L discovering the electricity, reverse engineering, and man, basically becoming a king, right? It's Mesopotamia, Egypt, the power grid, right? Electricity. All these places became empires once they got the knowledge of El, leading up to 1700. All right. Now, before we do all that, let's stay right here because we got to tell you how El got his karma, right? So these men, these group of men, right, with that electromagnetic field coming from that electricity, that synthetic electricity, it kind of slowed up crops, and the men was like, they gotta eat, and it was already losing compassion. So yeah, the first murder, the first time somebody broke the golden rule was it was due to that buzzing, but the man killed the animals. Right, that's what the Adam and Eve story told first. But then man committed murder against his own kind. Now this is when they had to go kill El. El had to die. El had to die, and they wanted the knowledge, right? So let's bring us to Cain and Abel, right? Because look, if you put it together, you put the word together, right? Cain and Abel, cannibal. They had to kill El, and so they didn't know no other way to get the knowledge from him, but take the helmet off, put it on, and devour him. This is when everything went haywire. All right, man had totally lost his compassion. He could now kill. Most people couldn't. So the ones who could, they started really the first. It had to be done in secret at first, right? So they started the first secret societies, right? So in order to kill El, they made a basically the first batch of alcohol. All right. They call it the witch's brew, but in the Bible they don't say she brew, they say he brew. All right. They telling the story. Alcohol been around since 7,000 BC, even before this story started. Right, the witch's brew. They wanted to celebrate him. They thought that they would celebrate El, and I'm guessing this was around December 25th when they went to celebrate him, and this is his death. All right, because he kept the knowledge, kept it a secret, and he knew that electromagnetic field will be affecting these people. He just didn't show compassion. He came back and got done in by these druids. These the ones that brew. They made the alcohol, the witches brew, right? Still, they call it the witches brew, right? And that's why they call it Jerusalem. And then we know about the Salem witch trials, right? But see, it's like they throw their hand and then in the history and just hid it behind a woman. But let's try to get into what's going on now, because America had to get colonized, right? Yeah. Now see, they called them witches because they had the knowledge. They had the knowledge of nature, right? They knew eating fresh fruits, ecology. We did stuff together, balance, right? When he put that stick, it was controlled chaos. The women were about balance, right? So yeah, these witch trials, they end up killing these women off because the women were trying to keep the knowledge of nature alive, right? The old way, the old world. That's what I'm saying. The new world order started with El. This is why he still prays, right? But it did take him a long time to figure out his knowledge, because they thought just eating him they would gain the knowledge, but that ain't how it works. So this group of men, right? They wanted the knowledge, so they became like the world's first scientists. So they just start putting a gang of stuff together to and eventually they figured it out, right? Eventually they figured it out. And these are the men who made the juice, the Hebrews who made the juice to gain the knowledge of the juice, electricity. Because with the electricity, empires have started, bro. Empires have started. All right, so yeah, the men lost compassion, meaning together, calm, meaning together, passion, which means to suffer, but compass is the root word of compassion. So the men lost their way, basically. So let me tell you why the Bible told it in reverse. And this is so ironic. This is the tree of life, plain and simple, just a tree. Now let me show you the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That is the tree, because look, you got to cut down a tree to make this. You got to cut down nature to make a book for them to indoctrinate you. And look, this is 7,000 years old too, and I'm giving you electricity, alcohol, and the Bible coming from around the same time period. And I'm saying these people is talking about hiss, and they got these radio waves out here, right? And they say that the devil, and they say the devil's a lie, but they say the devil controls air, the airwaves. And the devil signal for air, or his symbol for air, is a triangle, right? With a line through it, like the dollar on a pyramid. Look, they say this is an energy source. If you ever look behind the pyramid, there's no nature, bro. It's just the third eye detached from the body. Electricity. Even Abraham had the staff, the magic staff. Moses, he had the magic staff, and he parted the water. So yeah, and Abraham, the father of many nations. How they become the father of many nations? Through the magic, through the knowledge. Abracadabra. And then the symbol is a pyramid. That's where his name come from. Abracadabra. These magicians. And even to this day. Now let's get into New America. Joe Biden, his name is Celtic, right? I just showed you the Celtics, the Druids, coming over here to America with their knowledge of electricity, right? Who invented electricity? They say Ben Franklin in the 1700s. It's a damn lie. But let's roll with that for flying a kite. All right, so yeah, Benjamin Franklin, 1700s. I said you can't become a nation until you light that, until you control the grid, the electric grid. Benjamin Franklin is from Philadelphia. They even wrote about him that in the Bible. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia, right? These things say he that is the holy truth. He that had the key of David. All right, we know that the Jews, the juice. The Senate and behold, they bring up Philadelphia with the synagogue of Satan. Let me keep it pushing though, man. I ain't try to read out that. But yeah, they want to control the electric grid. Now they needed our power source, right? So we over here chilling. They come over here. They said 1492. All right, so let's say 1500s, and they're slowly trying to work their way in. So eventually they get to the Mississippi River, and the Mississippi River cool, right? The lake is cool. Some good water, electric sources, but what they was really looking for is motherfucking Niagara Falls. Now look, in 1759, Daniel John Cares was the first recorded person to have harnessed any type of power in Niagara. Now this is following the whole fucking timeline, y'all. Now look, 1759. This is before the nation is established. They get the power grid. They get to the most powerful source, probably maybe second, maybe third. I mean, it's got to be top 10. All right, 1776. They become a world empire. Following the timeline, traced all the way down through L, one little bitty dude who put light on a stick. With every action, there's a reaction, ladies and gentlemen. Did L know all this was going to take place? I think he had to wear that helmet. That's where the crown comes from. He had to wear that helmet because his technology. And to honor him, even to this day, they still wear to protect them from the that electromagnetic field. All right, so let's just keep it pushing, man. So yeah, L went up there. He built them two tires. All right, L was during the Bronze Age. That's the feet of bronze. Jesus, the Jesuits, the Juice, and out, trace it to the Israelites. Now look, I said the Israelites, Adamites, Moabites. It sounded like they was making a recipe for light or electricity because you can actually find magnetite, I believe, because this story take place in Canaan. I believe it's close to Mesopotamia. All around there will be some rich, uh, yeah. You find a lot of stuff from the periodic table right there. Now, this is the Samson was representing the natural man trying to break down L's towers, right? So this is Yahweh in Hebrew. It looked like eyes, which is crazy to me. All right. So Zeus is juice. All right, same as L is the knowledge of electricity. right? Light is knowledge. Even now, we got Elon Musk, L's on, right? With Tesla, with his electric cars, and you got Twitter, and you got Neuralink, which is Osiris helmet, right? Normal, which they showing. There it is. The scepter, the light stick, committing murder. Now, I, I this might be because this murder. Look, everything start killing shit. Even the animals start killing. Man lost his compassion. The Jews. It's the juice. All right. Tupac. He had the juice. You got the juice now. All right. Once he got the juice, he got separated. He got isolated. Right. And how was he introduced to us? As a pharaoh. Right. And who he was running with? Shock G. It's electricity, bro. With the Freemasonic shirt on, the checkerboard. OJ Simpson. He ran behind the offensive line, got the electric company, the juice. He's the juice. Was getting away in a white Bronco. A Bronco is a horse, a white horse. Juice. Jesus. Juice. The juice. Man lost his compassion. That don't feel right. It maybe do to somebody, but yeah. We stopped eating from the tree of life and ate from the tree. And it's like I said it the other day. It's like people got a spell over them. When you eat from the tree, the serpent hissed, and they chopped down trees to make books. Yeah, he met his karma. L, right? But I think he started off as good, the life of L. But man, now you gotta go to nature preserve to live like before L did what he did. Because it's well, let me say there. If you got a compass, it's gonna point to the North Pole, which means there's a strong magnetic force at the North Pole. Now, when L did what he did, he kind of threw all that off. All right, so this is why men start committing these murders like this, man. And think about it as we go on, as this world lights up more and more. Think about 1960s, it probably wasn't this many murders. It probably wasn't as many as it was in the 1970s, Vietnam, and it seems like it's getting worse. It seems like it's getting worse and worse, right? So yeah, even in you see in the neighborhood, the person who got the most lights, got the most juice, he probably got the most pool. All right, to afford their electric bill, he got the most currency. Currency. What they say, the Jews control the currency. That's what they was talking about, the currency. The first Jew with the juice was L. All right. And it's this the serpent hissing. That would fucking drive you crazy. You had to hear that. And it's fucking with your electromagnetic field. Peace, y'all. Peace, man. Please hit the like button for your brother, man. Took me a minute to get that together. Yeah, please hit the like button for your brother, man. Hopefully this story just made sense and flowed. But hey, man, share this video, man. This is one we gotta share too. Peace, y'all, man. I'm out of here.